Hi, I'm Matt, and on today's Matt's World DIY, I'm gonna make some delicious lemon crinkle cookies. They're so easy to make with just a few simple ingredients, and they're like a little taste of sunshine in your mouth. So let's get to it. Before I get started today, I just want to say thank you to all of my supporters and my subscribers for all of your continued support, even though I've had a little bit of a break. I've had this break because there's been some crazy things happening here at the house, and I got a job, you know I'm retired, so I got a little part-time job. It's taking a lot of my time, and there's some other construction things happening here at the home, and so I haven't had the time to dedicate to my YouTube channel like I did prior. But I'm trying to switch things around and make an adjustment with my time so that I can continue to create content for YouTube. And also, on a little side note, I have finally reached that threshold where now I am officially a YouTube partner. So I'm really excited to continue working with YouTube and creating content for you. And hopefully things will pan out where I'm able to balance my schedules and do things as I find that I need to in order to continue to be productive. Okay, with that said, let's get to this cookie recipe. So as I said in the intro, this is such an easy little recipe to make. If you have just a few staples in your kitchen like sugar and flour and that type of thing, you're good to go. The only thing that might be seasonal or specific that you may or may not have in your cupboard right away are lemons. And being that it's summertime, lemons are readily available in the supermarket. If you're lucky enough to have a tree in your backyard, this will be really easy to have on hand. So what we're going to start with is 1 cup or 220 grams of granulated sugar. Now, to this sugar, we're going to make some magic happen by zesting at least 1, maybe 2. It's up to your preference how much lemony flavor you want in your cookie. But officially, 1 tablespoon of lemon zest goes into the sugar. And I'm going to show you a little trick of how to actually get the most out of your lemon flavor here in just a second. So I do want to tell you, if you don't have a microplaner or a zester like I have here, you need to add that to your list of devices that you have in your kitchen because it is such a handy tool. Not only can you use it on citrus, like if you're zesting lemons or if you're zesting oranges, but it's also really good to get some fresh nutmeg flavor out of a nutmeg to put into your recipes. So I am putting a link in my description below of how you can get your hands on one of these through Amazon. And by the way, I am an Amazon partner, and so I do get a little bit of a kickback. It's not a lot, but I just think it's definitely worth having one of these in your kitchen supply. Okay, so one other thing I want to tell you about zesting your citrus, if it's lemons or oranges, limes, whatever the case might be, only take the colored part out of the fruit, because if you zest that white part, I think it's called the pith, that's very bitter, and the flavor of that you do not want. So I think I'm finished taking off what I could off of this one. I'm going to continue with another one to get my full tablespoon's worth. And so a tablespoon will be about the zest of 2 lemons. 2 good-sized lemons, that'll do for sure. I think this looks like a really healthy 1 tablespoonful of lemon zest. If you take a look at that, that is going to be so delicious. So drop that in. This next step can be fairly therapeutic if you're in the right frame of mind. But what we want to do is we want to incorporate that lemon zest into the sugar. And how I'm going to do that is by rubbing that lemon zest into the granules of sugar to release a lot of the oils of the lemon. And by doing this, you're going to have like this wonderful lemon flavored sugar that is going to bring out and enhance that lemon flavor so much more in your lemon cookies than if you had not done this step. Now that I have that done, let me wash my hands and we'll be right back. To my sugar and lemon zest combination here, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. To my lemon, sugar, salt mixture, I'm going to add 1 stick or 1/2 cup of melted butter. Remember, when you're melting your butter, if you're doing it in the microwave, cover your bowl because you don't want to have a butter explosion in your microwave. That's just really a big mess to have to try to clean up. So I'm also going to add 2 room temperature eggs. It doesn't really matter if they're not room temperature. I just say room temperature because it's going to help incorporate the egg better, more easily into your mixture. We are going to end up putting this in the refrigerator, so if they're cold, you can do that, but it's just not going to incorporate as easily. So I've got mine at room temperature. I'm also going to need a 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice and also 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to get my whisk out and whisk this stuff up, and then we'll get our dry ingredients started. For my dry ingredients, I'm going to start with 2 1/3 cups of flour. That's also 280 grams. To my flour, I'm adding a half a teaspoon of baking soda. This is going to provide some leavening to help lift our cookies, to help them rise, because, oh, my whisk is in there. But the baking soda will react with the acid of the lemon and help provide the lift that you want in your delicious cookies. I recommend, please, go ahead and whisk the baking soda into your flour, because you don't want a patch of baking soda sitting all by itself in this mixture. That's not going to be cool. The next step now is just to pour your dry ingredients into your wet. Only mix until the flour has disappeared, because if you overmix it, you're going to activate the gluten and you'll have a tough cookie, so you don't want that. So just gently, just fold your flour into your wet mixture and do this until it's combined. And then what I'm going to do is just cover this with a tea towel, put it in the refrigerator, let that stay. It's early in my day today, so maybe later on this afternoon I'll come back and finish up the preparation of these delicious cookies. So I'll see you later. Well, welcome back. It's been about 4 to 5 hours since I finished mixing up all of the ingredients for these delicious cookies, and they've been chilling in the refrigerator ever since. So here is what I have now, and if you touch it, you can see it's a bit firm. It gives quite a bit for a cookie dough. What I have is about 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar placed in a bowl. I have my parchment-lined cookie sheets ready to receive my cookie balls, and I also have a 1½ tablespoon cookie dough scoop that I'll use to pull the dough out of the bowl. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. While that is preheating, we can go ahead and start creating our little cookies. So I'm going to take my scoop out a portion. Like I said, it's a little sticky, a little wet, I guess. Roll it into a ball, place it into your bowl of powdered sugar, and liberally cover your dough ball with the powdered sugar. Because your dough ball is a bit soft, and I'd say on a wet side, we may have to do a second roll of the powdered sugar, because some of it may melt into the dough, and then you won't get as effective of a crackle appearance in the end. Keep those things in mind. And after I get my first set of dough balls on the cookie sheet, I'll assess the situation and see if I need to do a second roll or not. Now, if you don't have a cookie scoop, you could also just use heaping tablespoons full of cookie dough to pull out your dough balls. So there's 2, and you want to place them about 1.5 inches apart on the cookie sheet. So you'll see I have 9 cookie balls on my first cookie sheet, and by the time I finished with my last row, some of these on the first row have already absorbed some of that powdered sugar. So I'm going to take and just do a second coat real fast of those and then stick these quickly into the oven so we can get that baking process started. And you'll bake them for about 12 to 14 minutes until you'll notice that the edges are just starting to turn color. All right, so I'm ready to take my first batch out. I have my second batch here ready to go, so let's get to it. Yes, that looks terrific. I think we did a good job on them. So let me put this one down and take my second batch, get those in the oven. So I'm going to let these sit and rest on the cookie sheet while the others are cooking in the oven, and only for about 2 minutes. Then from there, I'll put them on a wire cooling rack to cool completely before I bite into it. They look delicious and I can't wait. Well, if you like lemon like I do, these Lemon Crinkle Cookies are the perfect little treat for you. I encourage you to make them. They're simple. They do take a little bit of time because of the cooling time, but it's well worth the wait. I hope you enjoy this recipe, and if you do, don't forget to check out my cookie playlist. I'll see you next time. Oh my God. All right. It is rather perfect.